There we go, right between the trees. Oop. Let's get them in between those trees. Wait for them to turn. Should fire off a bunch. Oh, I love this. Hey, what's up guys? As I'm sure you can tell, no longer in the California Redwoods. I forgot to record the setup video for the Pacific Wren shoot that I did in the Redwoods, which would have been smart to do there because it's so beautiful. The habitat would have looked great in the background of this. But here I am at this farm in Central California, just about an hour and a half outside of Yosemite. Anyway, the setup on the Pacific Wrens was Emily and I had gone to this particular park just for mountain bike riding. There were some really good trails there that I'd found online, and so we wanted to ride there. Throughout that riding, and we did a couple of hikes, shorter hikes as well, I heard the Pacific Wrens. I heard a ton of, on the one morning, in fact the morning I went out to shoot, you'll hear in the video, a ton of varied thrush as well. Never saw one, which is a bummer because that's such a beautiful bird. Would have been amazing to photograph them in that habitat too. But, you know, what can you do, right? When you only have so much time, just one outing to go out and try and get some shots, you got to deal with what you get. There was also a decent number of, Stellar's jays calling throughout my rides, but wasn't able to find any of them that morning either, which would have been great because that's another stunning bird as well. But what I did find was a Pacific Wren. So I found one right when I got started. Easy access. It was just near a parking lot though. So there was open pavement area and then there were going to be cars there. So I didn't spend too much time on that one because I knew that habitat wasn't really the best to show off what I wanted. And that's what I really wanted to do in this park. There's these massive redwoods. Here's a cat. These massive redwoods and just beautiful, beautiful habitat. Just a lot of space in there and just the expansive nature of it, right? So that's what I really wanted to show. And so I brought the 100 to 400 with me specifically because I knew I was probably gonna wanna go to the 100-ish side of things to try and show off that habitat. And so that was my goal with anything I wanted to photograph in there. So that's why I didn't bring the big 2.8 lens, the 400 2.8, which would have been nice because it's dark under there, really dark. So I knew that was gonna be a bit of a challenge as far as dealing with exposure with that 100 to 400 because it's a 4.5 to 5.6 lens. But I also knew if I wasn't showing off that habitat, I wasn't gonna be getting the shots I wanted in there. So that's the trade-off, right? And I'm really glad I did because when I did find another pair of Pacific Wrens, I was able to get some amazing shots of them that show off the habitat exactly the way I wanted. In fact, they were so cooperative and friendly that Emily and I went back a second time a little bit later when we had a quick moment to get out, and we shot them with a 24 to 70 millimeters. There you go, so some of the local wildlife here. And so anyway, that was the whole thinking process was, let me show off this habitat here. That's usually my go-to process, but I urge you, if you're in a place that just wows you when you see it, when you're just seeing it in person, you're like, wow, this is a gorgeous place, try your shorter focal lengths. You know, and it doesn't have to be 100 millimeter, even 200 millimeter can help there, but try to not use the longest focal length you have, if possible. Now, it's nice to have that 100 to 400 because when I was in close enough for 100 millimeter range, well, I have to be kind of close to it, right? And you'll see, I did zoom into 400 millimeter or close to 400 millimeter anyway, and get some tighter portraits as well, because why not? You know, you can do that with a zoom lens. If you don't have a zoom lens, however, you know, still going with the wider stuff I think is key because those tight portraits of, let's say, the Pacific Wren here, they're gonna show off the bird really nice, which is a great thing, but they could be anywhere. They could be in any Pacific Wren habitat, which is pretty widely varied, you know, and it's not really showing off like you're in the amazing redwoods, you know, whereas going into that wider, shorter focal length does show that off. So that's my thinking. Again, as always with my travels, I know I say it over and over again, not a lot of planning here. So it's going to be the case for most of the time when I'm traveling like that, unless I have some time where I'm going to be, you know, maybe like a week at a place and I can really kind of settle down and target some species. Most of my shoots are just going to be me going out and seeing what I can find. That's really how it goes, you know, and it's usually based on, you know, a hike or a bike through an area and then I've seen something, or just driving in and we've seen something. That's usually kind of what gets me out again to shoot, because I don't really do a lot of, well, let me just take you guys out on a random walk and see what I can find without having some kind of knowledge of something being there. But that's unfortunately how it's going to be. I know it's not real helpful for those of you that are in a place and really trying to figure out how you kind of scout it, plan it, work it. But that can't really happen for me until I'm settled down again, which should happen again around December. I should be back on the East Coast and settled in a place for a while. And so maybe I can work on a little bit more planned shoots for you then. But for now, it's just more of the let's see what we see kind of thing. A little minor bit of scouting via hiking and or my mountain biking, and then getting out and trying to make the best out of it in a quick morning, which I think there's some help in that. So anyway, thanks for joining. I hope you guys like this one. I really had a blast working with the Pacific Wren and in that amazing, gorgeous redwood habitat. All right, I think we might have a Pacific Wren here, not sure. Out here in the redwoods in California, pretty stunning place. It is dark here, folks. There's that little guy though. Come on, focus. There we go. Cool. It's a lifer for me. Oh, just heard a varied thrush. All right, so I don't like that I'm shooting into the backlight there. I'd prefer it if I was shooting more like this, actually. Oh, I think I just saw the wren up in here. Oh, he went back down again. I think that's some sort of chipmunk, that constant chirp, but not sure. All right, well, I kind of know where this guy's hanging out now, right by this parking lot. And as cool as it is to have a Pacific Wren, the habitat right there is kind of a mess where he's at. And these varied thrush are just calling, or they were. Of course, now they stopped. But I think I want to head in and see if I can locate some of them, because I can always hit this guy on the way back out. The problem I have now is I have no idea how high they are. Don't know if they're hanging low or up really high. Little red squirrel. So on him, I'm gonna just try and move so I can clear this bush. And my hope is he might poke out on the side of this tree. It's so dark in here. You know, another creative shot could be shooting up the tree at him. It's so incredible here. This habitat is so stunning. I hear golden crowned kinglets. The varied thrush seem to have stopped, but they seem to have been going in waves, so hoping they'll pick up again. And I'm hoping I might find another Pacific Wren back here. I've also heard some chickadees. There's a cat. I think we've got some low kinglets up here. Not sure, golden crown, ruby crown. Let's see. Oh, chickadees. All right, got this one behind the ferns there. Yeah, this habitat's kind of a mess. All these branches, they really need to go out into something different or hit like an edge. But there's maybe 2 or 3 of them working in here. I'm not familiar with this chickadee either, with the coloration on it. The brown sides, I don't know what they are, which is cool. Chestnut-backed maybe? Of course it's gonna sit right in there. There's just nothing to clean up. So we'll wait. I'm kind of standing behind some vegetation here. I don't want to be too out in the open. I'm just going to wait and see if any of these guys kind of move out into a more open area. There's at least 4 of them in here. But something tells me they're probably just going to keep working this vegetation. So I'm going with 60th of a second, 4000 ISO. We got some nice open overhead light here. Let's see about this. See if these guys are curious like East Coast chickadees. It does not seem like it. All right, not a great shot, but I'm just grabbing for documentary since I've never seen this species before. It is super cute. All right, I'm gonna slide over here. Here we go, this is better. Come on, turn, buddy. Oh, he was framed in there nicely. There he is feeding in the leaves. I'm just gonna try and slowly sneak in. Yeah, they seem pretty skittish. May have gotten one when he turned towards me there in that green stuff with the green leaves, but I think the leaves were intersecting, so didn't give me time to fix things. Classic chickadees. Here we go, over here on the right. Oh. Slide into the right here, get them in the opening, open up the exposure just a little bit. Come on, turn to the right. There we go, not bad, not bad. Gonna drop down a little bit, lighten it up a little bit more. Those last couple were out of focus, I'm not sure why. Here we go, we got him again. And back up he goes. That was good though. I think we're gonna like some of those. Some of those first couple should be in focus. Tough birds, but worth hanging here. We got a nice flock around. All right, there's the creeper. Bump up our exposure a little bit. Again, this is more of a documentary shot at this point. Not anything good, but all right, chickadees sounded like they moved over this way. A ruby crown kinglet there. And it's gone. A little far away for that tiny bird. Everything seems to have sort of quieted down a little bit too. So it might be time to move on. Fun little bit of activity there though. All right, I might have another Pacific Wren here. Also hear a ton of Stellar's jays in the background. I'm just slowly creeping up here to see if I can get a view on whatever's making this noise. This little chipping noise. Check my exposure. Oh, he's in there. There he is. Little Pacific Wren. So tiny. Kind of far away, buried in a mess right now, so no shot. Oh wait, I may have just seen one closer here. I'm trying not to move. Yeah, there is one in here. See if he comes out on this log. I'm going to pre-focus. There we go. Come on, come on, come on. All right, now I'm going to get lower. Doing it slow. I don't want to spook him. He's buried in the ferns now. I'm going to bump that ISO up to 4000. See the movement in there, but I kind of lost it now. And if it would come out on one of these stumps again, especially like these mossy stumps over here, better area to hang with one than that first one at the parking lot too. Just all natural habitat around here. Don't have a parking lot to deal with. Another nice overhead opening of light coming down. So good overhead spotlight. He found me when I stood up. He's over here somewhere, calling out. Come back out here maybe, pre-focus on this stump. Oh, where'd he go? Oh, all the way across. Damn. All right, so I moved up here, you can see, oh, there he is. There's this huge log here that I'm hoping he might come down on, or out on, and I'm tucked in a little bit more. He's right in here to my left. but it's just kind of a mess. All right, guys, we got him in here. I'm gonna go vertical in case he pops out. He's really close. And I'm staying wider because I really want to show off the habitat, but he's got to come out. He's just buried in this stuff there. Tough birds. I can't even get a clear view of them. Oh. All right, moving up a little bit. I think he's heading towards this green stump. Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. He's on. Go, 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 go. Put him right against the black. Put him lower in the frame. Oh, well, that's amazing. Zoom in a little bit. Shoot a lot. I'm a low shutter speed here. All right, I'm gonna go lower. Try and keep him against this tree. I'm gonna go single point. Compose him over like that. Oh goodness, guys. This is what I wanted. Go back to single point. Wait for him to turn. All right, let's zoom in and get a nice tight portrait. Shooting a bunch. I'm gonna compose him the other way. So he's on the tower there. Again, I normally wouldn't shoot this much, but this slow shutter speed, I'm trying to keep my ISO down. Let's see what a horizontal looks like. Oh, he's down. See if he might hit any of this other mossy stuff. That was incredible, guys. I'm just gonna hold still here and see if I still see any movement before I move to look. He may have just flown away. Well, that was incredible. So I want to point out something too here. We got really lucky with where he decided to perch. If you look at this branch out here, there's this side out on the right. If he perched there from where we were standing over on this side, we wouldn't have seen him at all. So he actually went right up there, which is the highest point, which is usually what they do, but we got really lucky with that. And while I would have loved to have shot out this way, because look at this habitat out here, it's a little bit nicer than that way. To stand over here, I was too close at 100 millimeter. If I had a 24 to 70, honestly, I'd have stood right here and then shot out with that in the background. But with the 100 to 400, the best I could do was get a little bit more space back here and shoot this way. And as you can see from this perspective here, that the top of that, we can't see the other side of that from here. So it was a bit of a gamble to stand here because I was hoping he was going to like work into this area, just based on where it was going. And I knew normally with any given perch, if I can, I will stand like this so I can see pretty much the whole arch of it, right? So the whole, all the different angles. Of course, it's not every angle, right? But most of them. And standing over here on this side was not that. But we got really lucky. He went up. I hear him over here to the right now. So that was amazing. We got tight portraits. We got wide redwoods in the background. And when we went wide, both of them had him against the dark background, which was key. So let's hang out and see if he shows anywhere else here. All right, guys, I walked away and came back, and this Pacific Wren's in the same spot, or same area. Oh, there he is. Look at that. Oh, stay. Oh, come on, poke your head out. I like the dark that he's in there. Not the best. Oh, jeez. He snuck over there on me. Oh, look at this. He loves that perch, see? Great exposure here. All right, let's go wider, show off some more habitat. All right, we're shooting from a different direction now. Let's see if we can put him in some good space here. Come on, stay there, buddy. It's kind of a mess still. Ah, he went down. Sorry, he's gonna come out on that. There we go, right in between the trees. Oop. Let's get him in between those trees. There we go. Focus on him, compose. Wait for him to turn. fire off a bunch. Put him between those trees again. Shooting a bunch just because of how much he's moving, how slow my shutter speed is. Oh, I love this. Show more of the moss. Zoom out a little bit more. Oop. So spunky. I can't pick a... Yeah, so you find their favorite perch and they'll do it again. I just walked away for 10 minutes, came back and just went right back up there. How cool was that? And now we have totally different looks. I didn't get as wide. I was really trying to get over here because this is what I wanted it to kind of look like through there, although it doesn't give a lot of that forest vibe, right? You can't see the trees back there, and these are just too big and obvious, so I think the tighter shots were the better way from this side. But let's see where this spunky little wren went. It's so wild. He does that from this side, or for a little bit around this thing, and then he just like full on disappears. I don't see any movement. I don't know if he just like flew away and I didn't see or what, but that's what he did after the first one. Is he was up there singing, making a racket, then he disappeared, and so I left, and then I came back and I heard him again, and he just did that, put on that show for us, which is honestly probably because I'm standing here, you know? That's really what's causing that kind of territorial defense, I'm guessing, but we'll take it. We'll let him go. Got a bunch of great shots there. Hearing more of those varied thrush up ahead. I'm guessing they're all either really high in the trees or they just don't move when they're singing. And so it's very hard to find. Like, this is insane, the size of these trees. Such a beautiful, beautiful place. All right, let's see what else we can find on the way back. All right, we got some really close chickadees here. Try to not intersect those branches behind them. I'm happy to shoot through stuff if I can get a cool view of them. It's a little bit of a mess. Let's see. Off they go. Yeah, they're all way up here now. So interestingly, this is the same exact area I was photographing them earlier. Oh, golden crown kinglet. Too much of a mess there, even though that was a clear view. I'm thinking there's a bunch of kinglets and here's a lot of movement. If they would come out onto this stuff, we'd be good. But in here, oh, did one just do that? Anyway, in here, just kind of a mess unless I get really lucky. See if any of them make a move out to a better spot, or maybe give us just that opening we need. See, branch in the way. Yep, no good. A lot of birds moving around here, but everything's either high or in the middle of all kinds of too much stuff. All right, branch right behind him. Move over, see if I can find a clearing. Come on. He moved. But did you see that? Look, I started here. Look at that bright white branch right behind it, right there. That was no good. But that's okay, he's out here. See if he'll hit an exterior branch. No, they all just flew away. I wouldn't even mind them like out there, you know? Like nice small in frame. Up here would be great, except for how bright the tops of those. Yeah, look at that. It just goes white. Oh, I could darken the exposure down, make it green. I guess that helps a bit. Be a little bit dark on the birds, but it would work.
And that was a wrap for the shoot. So I headed out, enjoying the beautiful hike through this forest. Thank you guys so much for joining me. This was an amazing place and one that I've wanted to visit for a very long time. And it was such a great experience getting to go in, hang out with these Pacific Wrens, these tiny, tiny birds in this giant forest, and share that experience with you guys. Thanks so much. See you on the next one.